All right, so we're going to take a look at Cherry Wine by Hozier. All right, so it's going to start with the capo on the 6th fret. Let's take a look at the tab that we're starting with. Okay, so this song is in 3/4 time, so each measure has 3 beats. So we kind of have to get this feeling of 3 going. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and ooh. 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and. All right, so that is that first line. So I'm using my middle finger pretty much to play that 3rd fret past the capo on the low E string. So we're going to be dealing with this thing called Travis picking for this. And this is where that bass note basically falls on all the downbeats, on beats 1, 2, 3, throughout the entire piece. Well, at least in the intro, because I'm basically kind of just doing the intro in this version of the video. All right, so we have... So when I get to that 3rd measure, I'm using my middle finger to get that high E string. And then I could use my middle or 1st finger to get that B string. All right, so now we're going to keep going. We're going to go to measure 4. Measure 4, we're keeping that middle finger intact there, and we just go. So I'm getting thumb and middle, thumb, index, middle, same. So when I put that together, I have 1, 2, 3. Fifth measure, we're gonna put our index finger on the G on the 2nd fret past the capo, and I'm gonna use my thumb for low E. That open D is gonna be my index finger, middle finger for the G. And I'm gonna hammer on with my pinky to 4. And getting my thumb on that beat 2 on that 3rd fret. And then we do this pull-off thing with our pinky still down. So I'm pulling off to 2, and then I like to pull off to 0 for that end of that measure. So I have 6th measure. I have still that thumb 1st, 2nd, and then I do a hammer on. Thumb 1st finger, thumb middle finger. Moving on to number 7. So we kind of do that same thing. Thumb index for beat 1, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, and. So now we're kind of getting back into the intro. Then that measure 8, it's kind of like from measure 4 before. Same thing. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So that was measure 9 there. So measure 9, very similar to a measure before. I think measure 5 maybe? I don't know. Without looking. Okay, so that was measure 9. Measure 10, we're going to do another thing where we have our thumb, index, middle. So 1, 2, and 3, and. Okay, so that's measure 10. Measure 11 is where we sort of switch to the C, like a C major chord. But we're going to keep our 3rd finger now on that 3rd fret of the A string. And I'm going to go. Hammer on to the 1st fret of the B string. Then getting that thumb. I do ring. Measure 12. So I'm getting that, the A and the D string with my thumb and index. Thumb, middle, thumb. Move Number 13. Still keeping my third finger in that sort of C formation, but now I'm doing. So I'm getting my thumb and index, thumb, middle, thumb. Measure 14, thumb and index on A and D. Then I'll get thumb, middle for the 3-0. Thumb index for 3-0 on A and D. Okay, and then measure 15. Kind of goes back to that thing we were doing before. So I'll kind of, maybe I want to shift from this chord that we were doing in measure 14, where I'm kind of doing that C shape, to back to that G shape that I was doing with, where I'm leading that bass tone with my middle finger on 3 past the capo on E. Keeping it going. Measure 16. 1 and 2 and. So I have. I'm using my thumb and middle for that first part, and then my index for that too. Still using, in that second part, I'm going thumb open with my first finger, and then hammering on with. So doing a lot of like middle finger for the first one, index, thumb, index, thumb, index. Oh my gosh. 1 and 2 and. Oh my gosh. Okay, next measure we have. Measure we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that is sort of the finger pattern that I'm using for Cherry Wine, just for sort of just that intro section. All right, good luck.